Let's look at a hand where our position actually helps us extract maximum value from our opponent. In this example, we'll be seated on the button, and our opponent will be in late middle position. At 50 and 100 blinds, the villain raises 300 chips. We look down at 10 of hearts, Jack of hearts, and this is a hand we normally wouldn't play from early position, but on the button, since we'll have the best position possible in every betting round, we happily call the 300. In fact, if it had folded around to us, we would probably open the pot with the same raise to 300 and play just against the blinds. In this case, the blinds both fold, and the pot is now 750. The flop comes 10, 2, 2, and our opponent continues his pre-flop lead with a bet of 500 chips. It's a good flop for us. We have top pairs, so we can't fold. Our only real options are a call or a raise. Because a raise is only likely to be called by a better hand like jacks through aces, while worse hands like pocket eights or ace jack, ace queen, ace king might actually fold, we wisely decide to flat call, making the pot 1750. The turn, unfortunately, brings an ace. It's actually a scare card for both us and our opponent. He happens to check, leaving us with the option of checking behind or betting. Aces are probably a large part of his pre-flop raising range, and it's conceivable he's going for a check raise here on the turn. Because our flat call pre-flop indicates we don't have stronger aces, even if we had an ace to begin with. A check could also represent pocket pairs in our opponent's hand, either better or worse than our pair of tens. A bet from us is likely to be called only by better hands and fold worse hands. We decide to check behind and see the river card for free. The river brings a 10, which swings us back into the lead definitively with trip tens. Our opponent makes a value bet of 1500. Perhaps he has an ace, and he's hoping to get a weaker ace or a small pocket pair to call. We know we're way ahead now, so we stick in an all-in raise to 2800. Our opponent thinks for a while, and he ends up calling. He shows us ace-king, and we win a gigantic pot, 6,750 chips, with our 10 of hearts, jack of hearts, mostly because we were in position. To review, position gave us the following benefits. It allowed us to play a wider range pre-flop, collect a flop continuation bet from our opponent when we had the better hand, then when we had a worse hand, check behind for free on the turn to see the river, and raise all in over our opponent's river value bet. Let's take a look though at what happens if our roles are reversed. Let's say we each get the same cards, but we're now seated in opposite seats. So our opponent now has the button, and we're in late middle position. It folds around to us. We have 10 of hearts, jack of hearts, and we make a loose aggressive play. We stick in that 3 big blind raise to 300. It folds around to the button, and we know he has ace-king now for observation purposes. When we're playing the hand, we don't know this for sure. But what does he do? Well, most of the time with ace-king, he actually re-raises us right there, probably to something like 900, 3 times our pre-flop raise. And this is going to get us to fold every time, so we lose our initial investment of 300 chips, all because we're out of position. If, however, he elects to make a conservative call, say we're at the beginning of a poker tournament and he doesn't want to hit the door right away, we'll see the same flop of 10-2-2, The pot will be 750 again. And we have the option of checking or betting. A check will allow worse hands to see a free turn and potentially improve to be better than our pair of tens. And a bet won't always get called. When we're in position, we almost always got a free continuation bet from our opponent on this exact same flop. But now, there's a chance that if we bet, he folds. And although this is subtle, this is a definite disadvantage of our bad position. So let's say we bet 500 again, and he calls, so the pot is now 1750. The turn brings the ace, and this puts us in a difficult spot. Betting will only get called or raised by better hands, like trip twos or a pair of aces. We could try to represent the ace, but because ace X is such a large portion of our opponent's pre-flop calling range, we elect to just check. He, in turn, bets 1250 with his ace-king, looking to get value on the turn, and because we only have a pair of tens, we're forced to fold. So we lost 800 chips, all because we're out of position. With the exact same hand, when we were in position, we won 6,750. While we got lucky to river our third 10 when we were in position, remember that having that position in the first place is what enabled us to play a wider, sneaky range pre-flop. It also allowed us to check behind on the turn for free, to see that river 10, and then raise all in over our opponent's river value bet. Having these options of either building a larger pot with a raise or checking behind for a free card are the luxuries of position that help you extract more value from your winners and minimize losses from your losers.